Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of, is Steven Spielberg overrated? So for this video, I am not only going to discuss the topic of, is Steven Spielberg overrated, in a simple and straightforward way, so even those unfamiliar with this topic can understand it. I will also discuss a lesson that there is to learn from this situation with Steven Spielberg, so you can obviously learn a life lesson from it. So if you're just in filmmaking or something, or just even for anything for that matter in life, you can learn from it so you don't make this, so you can obviously not make the same mistakes. Okay, so that's what I'll be discussing today. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic, is Steven Spielberg overrated? I have to say, simply put it, yes, he is overrated. Now, even though Steven Spielberg has definitely done a lot of things to make him have a good reputation in Hollywood, he's done things to give him a very reputable reputation for Hollywood and all that type of stuff, to put it bluntly. Like a lot of movies that have changed Hollywood forever, which old boy did he ever create a lot of movies that changed Hollywood forever. Like obviously if you go back far enough, you can obviously talk about movies that he created. Like I think he created E.T. I'm not too sure about it, but I know he created a lot of innovative movies that changed Hollywood forever and how we see movies, let alone how we watch movies. Like Saving Private Ryan was absolutely something that he definitely created, I believe, or something. But either way, the point of the matter is, aside from Saving Private Ryan and different things, he definitely has undeniably left his mark on the film industry. He's done things that have definitely changed films forever, and at one point all the movies he made were actually really good from what I know about him. Okay, and the truth of the matter is, just to add to that, he was also the most well-known filmmaker. If you ask anybody, they would all say, oh, we know who Steven Spielberg is. He was like the first filmmaker you could actually ask people and say, do you know who he is? And they say, yeah, we know who he is. He definitely left his mark on Hollywood, let alone movies, and just in general the entertainment industry as a whole. So the question obviously comes up, why do I say he's overrated? Well, the reason why he's overrated is because he has done something that anyone who's best at their craft should know not to do, and they tell you at some point not to do, whether it's filmmaking, fighting, or even maybe being a race car driver, whatever, anything professional, is that do not overstay your welcome. In other words, know when to retire. Okay, because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to Steven Spielberg, okay, all the movies that I've heard he's made in the past like 10 or so years, let alone 20 years, have received extremely, and I mean extremely bad reviews. Okay, not just that recent movie that just came out recently, that the critics are just simply making fun of really badly. Okay, in honesty, to be quite honest with you, all the movies I've heard from him he's made in the past recent years, let alone 20 years, people just say suck. Every movie he's made in recent times, everybody says suck. Even back in the 2000s, when you could obviously tell like he was kind of starting to get a bit old and stuff. You can clearly see at the time he was starting to get a lot of hate from people saying, oh, his movies aren't as good as they used to be, yada yada yada, everything from the plot and just how to produce and all that stuff. While when you look at his earlier works, like obviously E.T., another one that I do know that also was really good, of course, which I mentioned before, that well-known movie, Saving Private Ryan, let alone, of course, Schindler's List, all these movies that were extremely critically acclaimed, which whether or not those movies are your cup of tea or not is not the issue here. The point is that they were well produced, they had a well-made plot, everything kind of came together, and most importantly of all, absolutely that's the most objective part of all, most important is that it changed movies forever. Okay, just like E.T., it was considered at the time one of the movies that helped really encourage special effects to ever actually be commonly used in movies, which is something Steven Spielberg, of course, innovated, okay? And not something that's kind of unmemorable and forgettable, like some other filmmakers, okay? He did something that was clearly something that was unforgettable, okay? Um, like the movie E.T. Like, literally, anybody who enjoys special effects today, you can literally thank him for doing that, okay? Special effects like we see today, okay? He made a movie E.T. He obviously created Saving Private Ryan that also not only helped, show the graphic reality of war, it also helped to, of course, promote extremely detailed violence in movies and stuff, which, obviously if you watch movies, you obviously watch it mostly for violence. So that helped it, and even, of course, as we all know, inspired the video game industry when it came to, of course, the Call of Duty series. Specifically if you played Call of Duty 3 before Modern Warfare came around, the first Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which of course Call of Duty 3, of course, as we all know, was the last World War II game, major one at least, that came out before Modern Warfare, and was the first next gen video game that came out in 2005. Like, that's what I'm trying to say here, okay? Like, especially when you play that game, Call of Duty 3, the one that came in 2005, you can clearly tell there's so many Saving Private Ryan references. It's actually ridiculous, and that is honest truth here. And of course, Schindler's List, it had its role, and in numerous movies he had a role in, okay? Which is actually, to the point, it's absolutely ridiculous, okay? So yes, he did all those things, but he just overstayed his welcome. So it just became kind of like a lost legacy, because if you're making a lot of good things and then you just have a period of time where you're just producing a lot of trash, then you can't still say you're the greatest filmmaker of all time or one of the greatest. It's just like, let's just say you're a boxer, you literally have a really good record. Like, we were talking about like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier type shit. We're talking about the early 1900s boxers, like the ones who literally could say that they had like 80 to 100 wins and stuff, which actually, to put it bluntly, no matter how we like to admit it, whether we like to admit it or not, those boxers were absolutely way better and way more advanced than the ones who came afterwards, okay? Like, these people literally, some of them literally have like 80 to 100 fights without them losing once, okay? That's honest truth here, okay? So what my point is, let's just say you're a fighter, okay? You have a really good record. You literally have 100 wins and 0 losses, like those old school early 1900s type fighters did. But then you decide, you know what? I'm not going to retire. I'm just going to continue doing this over and over and over again. What's an example of overstaying your welcome? So now you had literally 100 wins, 0 losses, and then over time, due to consistently playing over the course of years, you start developing more and more and more losses. You literally had a record of like 100 wins, 0 losses. Now, and towards the end of your career, when you eventually give in, you have 45 to 50 losses and 100 wins. So are you still the greatest of all time? And that's the point I'm trying to make here with Steven Spielberg. If he knew when to stop, he would have this extremely good reputation. He didn't know when to stop, and we see what the end results of it at the end of the day are. So the lesson that there is to learn from this story is that when you are good at something and you have a good record, to be more specific, make sure you preserve it the best way possible. In other words, know when to throw in the flag, or whatever they call it, okay? Don't just keep on producing these things even when you've passed your stage. And that's what he was doing, and that's why he's overrated. If he didn't continue making movies like he's doing now, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. We would absolutely say he's literally one of the best filmmakers, if not the best filmmaker of all time, but he didn't stop. And that's honest truth here. So the lesson is, know when to throw in the rag, okay? Instead of just saying, I'm just gonna continue making movies and movies and movies until the movies start to suck dick, okay, like it is now. And that's honest truth. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. And simply put it, I hope you learned something. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and the subscribe button and simply put them out. So bye.